I got some friends that killed some people, but my friends have always been killing people. I did not break the law.
He kept the body for 1 to 2 days, and he laid the body on the edge of his tub and, quote, slit open his belly, end quote. He took pictures of him. He defleshed him, acidified the flesh and skull, and kept the skull.
He had killed more than a dozen people and eaten some of them. His Milwaukee apartment that was literally a house of horror.
I deserve certainly the most extreme punishment society has, and I think society deserves to be protected from me and from others like me. Homicide.
Van Houten claims she originally...
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chillin' and Killin'. How is everybody tonight? Is everybody looking forward to some love, murder, and whatever?
Okay, so listen, Miss Audio Technical Issue Woman is just going to ask something. Every time I try to share our video right now, it's saying that it's ended. Are you getting it?
That.
No,
yeah.
I'm being really like, I just tried four different ways and it says it ended. It says it's not live. I can't find it live anywhere. So is anybody can anybody tell me if it's actually live?
Right now?
Well, let's see. Send us a message. Is it live right now? Rusty, only if you mention where I'm actually not mentioning that one. So that's not on my list tonight. Anybody out there, is everything good? Is it running good? Let us know.
Yes, Destiny says.
I don't see that
perfect.
It's ending.
That's great.
Okay.
So for some reason, literally, whenever I go to it's saying it ended. I can't share it. Yeah. So
that's what I was having this.
Okay, so everybody share it out for us. Let's get it going. Show us
share it out for
on
us.
This lovely, lovely holiday that is Valentine's Day. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. We are excited to bring you this special show tonight. Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. Yay. We had to get Kirsten all together. She was having some technical difficulties. So now she's all good, but a little sweaty, right?
Yeah, I don't like, it stresses me out. I feel like I need a little bit of I don't like computers or technology or anything, okay? And what I really don't like is when I turn on to do a show and they're both silent going,
no, we were going.
And I'm like, yeah. So I go, guys, hold on, I'm going to test my speaker. So Heather goes, turn it off. Gigi goes, like this. I'm like, what do you want me to
unplugging?
Put a banana and poke my computer
No,
with it?
get off and get back in again.
Put a banana in.
Get it
in.
Out.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
It made sense to us at the time. You know what I mean? Like, we're the IT of the show. Like, we were just trying to help. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Well, what are you drinking on tonight?
So I am drinking grapefruit rosé.
Okay,
which is my absolute new favorite drink. It's the most wonderful thing in the world. And when I got home today, my husband had bought me 3 bottles of it. So he gets the Valentine's Husband of the Year award. I'm not going to be drinking all 3 bottles tonight. I'm just going to drink this glass, but
right, that's how it goes.
I figured rosé was pretty appropriate for Valentine's Day. So
it is. Mm-hmm. What are you drinking on, Gigi?
Uh-oh.
You know, I call this Valentine. And of course.
I know. I know what she's drinking. Can I guess? Ooh, I know.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your psychicness.
I think it rhymes with schmodka and oot lunch.
Very good.
I swear this is my first glass. I swear.
Vodka and fruit punch. Okay, everybody.
Okay.
That is Gigi loves vodka and fruit punch. So, guys, everybody, go out and get that because I guess it's a game changer. I had this really cool drink plan for everybody, but life got in the way. I didn't get to get out. So, just my normal red wine. So, there we go, everybody. Nothing fancy. I'll bring it next time. I know I'm slacking on the drink side. So,
okay,
I'll mix something really cool live. I'll throw it around like cocktail. I won't, but I will.
I won't. But I will.
I'll do that. Okay, but all right.
So can I explain my name real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I didn't even change mine.
So up until I don't know about 5 minutes before I jumped on, it said "Mi amor, Rick and Morty" because I learned all week long that I cannot learn Spanish. So it took me 7 days to learn how to say "muerte." So "Mi amor, muerte." My love for death.
Oh, I came late to that one. I was like, what? We were talking about I got it.
Wait, so explain, please. So you can't speak. You figured out you can't speak Spanish or can't. No.
I knew "mi amor," and then I wanted to learn "my love for death." So I was like, that's what I wanted my name to be on for the show. And I was like, I kept saying they were trying so hard at work, bless their hearts. And they're like, you're saying it wrong. And I was like, Rick and Morty, "Mi amor, Rick and Morty." So it said "Mi amor, Rick and Morty" up until about a little bit ago. That's the story.
I love Rick and Morty. It was
a struggle. Mm-hmm. They're all saying it right. And I said, that's what I said.
I have nothing. Let me see. True Crime Valentine. Look at it. Okay, I don't have glasses on because of this makeup, everybody. So, like, my vision, you'll see me like, because I'm trying to see. So don't mind that. Don't mind me. Let me just explain that. Oh my goodness gracious!
I'll try to think of a fun name for you.
I change it. Like, I don't think I can change it right now, right? It's already like here. It just removes me from stream. Yeah, I'm screwed. So this is just who I am now, everybody.
It's just Heather tonight, guys. That's it. Just
Heather. No, I can edit my name. Okay, let me see. Let me just capitalize that H because that is annoying. Heather, what? What should I call it?
I don't know. What's a true crime word that rhymes with Cupid? Let's see.
I'll just put Cupid. Did I spell that right? I can't really see.
Heather Cupid.
Nice.
You're so original. I love it.
I know, right?
Cupid. Like, yes. Next time, like our Christmas special, I'm going to be Kirsten Santa or Kirsten Claus. That's going to be it.
I like that. I like Kirsten Claus. I think that's a
I like
good
it
name.
too, actually.
She's like, I'll write that one down.
All right, everybody, we're ready to start diving. Do we have anything else to talk about or say until we start diving into these stories? Mine's pretty lengthy, so I'm ready to get going. I've been I go down these rabbit holes in my stories because like I'm not great at keeping notes, so I literally everybody listen to the story over and over and over and over again until it's like bled into my brain. So I am happy to do this story and be done with it. But I'm gonna let Gigi go first though. So go ahead, Gigi. What you got?
That's oh Lord.
She literally just went, what? Me?
I could go first.
I thought that's what we decided.
I can go first if you guys want me to.
No, I'll go. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna go first. Forget what I said. No, pay no mind to the man behind the curtain. Okay, everybody. So I decided on this Valentine's Day special. Did I say it right? Valentine's Day?
Yes, you did. Valentine's.
Yay, everybody. I'm learning how to speak. Yay. So I wanted to do a killer couple. Okay, that was where I was going with this. So I picked, well, I'm just going to start the story. I'm not even going to say their name. I'm going to start the story and let's just get it going.
Get into it.
So, ready, everybody? You ready for story time? Pull your blankets up and let's get scary because I'm about to tell a story.
Oh my God, let's start with tonight. Holy shit.
So let's start with Charlene Williams. Charlene Williams was a young girl. Well, she was about in her 20s, whatever. I'll get to it. But she came from a good home. You know, great parents, good parents. She had a great IQ, no like mishaps or anything like that. The worst thing that they could say about Charlene was her parents were maybe like hoarders, which, I mean, if that's the worst you got, come on. You know, I'm a hoarder, but somewhat. Okay. So Charlene has a good life. You know, she gets into her teens. She gets a little rebellious, you know, like most teens do. They want to, their family's so good and they have these high expectations for people that they decide like, okay, you know what? Maybe I want to, you know, drink a little bit, smoke a little bit, yada, yada, yada. Well, Charlene, she ends up being married and divorced twice by the time she's 21. So, but we're talking, this is back in the 70s. Okay. So she then meets Gerald. Okay. Gerald, well, her friend set her up on a blind date. They're like, hey, girl, got this guy, so good looking. I want to set you on blind date. Blind dates, I don't know, everybody. I've been on some, not the best. Anyways, so she goes out with Gerald and she's like, oh my God, this is like, the chemistry was just amazing between these two. Like, love at first sight. But I don't know. Charlene was already married twice. Maybe that's just how Charlene gets down. But whatever. I don't know about Charlene business. Let's just say she really fell for Gerald, okay? So her and Gerald within a week are living together, okay? Living together, and this is back in like 1977 when they met. Year I was born. Whoop, shout out to me. Anyway, so Charlene and Gerald, after just about, you know, a little bit of time they live together, they're, you know, they get married very early too. So it's just like explosive between them two. So they're together about a year. Sex life's wonderful. Everything's great. Year comes along. Gerald comes up to her and he's like, he's kind of going through some, you know, like erectile dysfunctions going on with Gerald. And he's like, Charlene, you just aren't really doing this for me. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of need a little bit more in my life. Well, Charlene's like, well, you know what? Let's have a threesome. Okay, Gerald.
No, never a good idea, ever.
Well, they have the threesome, and Gerald's kind of like, all right, Charlene, grow up. Been there, done that. I'm not really feeling it. You know what I mean? So he sits her down, and he's kind of like, I think so.
Yeah.
So he sits Charlene down. He's like, hey, Charlene, you know, let's talk for a minute. I think to spice up our relationship, we should get sex slaves. Charlene's like, most people would be like, fuck, you know, no, get the hell out of here. I'm gone. But not Charlene. Charlene's like, you know what?
Wait,
I'll try anything once.
Wait. So hold on. So first he says, let's have a threesome. Then he
said like, this is it. He couldn't perform. He's having erectile dysfunction. So he's like, I need to do something. Charlene's like, threesome. And he's like, okay,
but then his response is sex slaves. Did I hear that right?
Yeah. So like, he's like, you know, he pitches it to her. Like, Charlene, you know what I mean? Like, sex slave. Let's just, you know, just don't be so lame, Charlene. Let's fucking do it, you know? So Charlene, like, okay. You know what I mean? Charlene's like, fine, okay. And then, so, oh gosh. So let's go.
I love how you can't tell the story without laughing, like a lot.
It's a crazy story. I'm just thinking, like, seriously, like, I mean, people can pitch a lot of things to you, but like, where's your limit? You know what I mean? Where do you just like?
I think sex slaves would be my limit. I mean, I think right there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, and then he's telling her like, he's like, you know, and it's got to be younger people because, you know, like people your age, Charlene, 21, too old, Charlene. So it's like, all right, Gerald, why you didn't leave Gerald now? I don't get it. But Charlene's down. Charlene's like, okay, this is the love of my life. Let me figure this out. We're in love. Me and Gerald are in love. Shut up, everybody. You know? So Charlene and Gerald end up, and what she does is they have this creeper van, like the what you would call a creeper van. Now,
every van ever in every murder story, in every scary movie ever. Yeah, got it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So let me go real quick, everybody, and let me start breaking out some of these photos. So let me show you guys. Oh, they're so in love, these two, right?
Oh, they're both good looking.
Well, so okay, so Charlene is she's kind of like, she lures the girls in. Okay, so they go to a mall and she gets two girls, and we're talking Rhonda and Kippy. Okay, and I'm gonna derive from saying people's last names because I'm gonna mess up their last names. So I'm not gonna say people's last names because I suck at it. But the Gerald's last name's Gallagher, so you probably want to know who the murderer is. So we'll just say his last name's the only one I'm gonna say. So Rhonda and Kippy, 17 and 16, Charlene goes up and says, like, hey, you know, I got some weed. Want to follow me to the car? Mind you, she didn't even have weed, but well, you know, whatever. So
she didn't even have it.
How I know, like, what a bitch. Lie about what?
I know, what a bitch. Like, anyways,
I'm done listening to this. Everybody get off.
Okay,
that's what he said.
Sorry, I'm gonna get serious now, guys. Everybody, we've said disclosures a lot of times. Things get graphic here. We make jokes about things. We don't joke about the victims. Yada yada yada. That's our disclosure.
Yeah.
Don't complain. Don't cancel us. We don't care. But anyways, so she ends up. He takes them into this creeper van. So like Charlene walks them back there, like, hey, you know, I got this weed. And they open the door, and freaking he's there, and he holds them at gunpoint, right? So they take them, and Charlene's driving to this location to where he ends up sexually assaulting them. And when he's finished, mind you, like Charlene's not even she's not even allowed to participate. Like he does it. It's he gets off by this, and that's just what it is. She just wants to kind of like make sure that he's happy. So after he's done with these girls, he takes them out of the van and he shoots them both in the back of their head. Okay. And then they're gone. Their bodies end up found 2 days later. They find them. And well, at this point after this, you know, Gerald he has a child. Okay. He's been married like 5 times. So he has a child, and Gerald's child, he was sexually assaulting his child. So the child finally pressed charges, was old enough to press charges against him. Okay. And so they ended up fleeing to Reno. Okay. Now, a little backstory on him, Gerald. He came from she came from a really great home. His background is described where you would say a child was, you know, came from a background of abuse, where his was considered brutal. So his dad, and this is why I kind of fell into the story a little bit, because it was fascinating to the point of, hold on, everybody, I'm going to put my glasses on for a little bit. So, okay.
She's getting real here.
I have to now. I'm getting into it.
You know what? Wait, can I, not to cut you off, can I just throw in a question / comment? So
go ahead.
What you described with the van and the weird sex scene and then the shooting of the 2 girls, that to me doesn't really describe, when you said sex slave, that's not really what okay.
No, exactly. So he kind of, when he went, Gerald's she's got the IQ, not Gerald. You know what I mean? So I think in the aspect of it, they were wanting to do keep them hostage.
Yes,
sex,
okay.
That's how he pitched this to her.
Was that their intent?
When the girls got into the car, it became a whole different situation. He was already assaulting them to the point where he's like, no, I got to kill them. You know, there was no keeping them at this point. So it just moved to that. So I thought I had a picture of his dad. I thought I uploaded, but I didn't. But his father actually was the first person in their state to be executed by the gas chamber. So he was brought up when he was young. His father killed a police officer. Well, it was like a prison guard. He ended up saying, if anybody touches me again, the police, I'm going to kill him. Well, he ended up breaking away and taking this police guard with him, and he ends up killing the guard. He's executed for this. So this is in Gerald's young life that his father's executed. His mother is like a sex worker. Okay. So she is literally bringing in men constantly who are just beating and brutalizing Gerald. So Gerald came from this really abusive, home.
Okay.
Which, not all people that are abused turned out to be abusers, but usually people that are abusers are always abused. You know what I mean? That's kind of how that seems to work out. So, okay. So now let's skip back. So Gerald and them, they skip town, they go to Reno. Okay. So they're in Reno, and even her parents, because they want to get married. Okay. And her parents, this is, mind you, she comes from a good home. She ends up convincing them that, Gerald's this good guy. He's just going through some stuff. So they help him get a passport, change his name. Her parents help him with all that. So now he goes by a different name now while they're in Reno. So, okay. So not much time goes by before they go to a fair. Okay. And at this fair is where they abduct Brenda and Sandra. So we're looking at a 14-year-old and a 13-year-old. Same MO, Charlene goes and coerces the girls in, and he gets these 2 this time though. And he they don't even like wait to get to the location. He just starts sexually brutalizing them. And he seems to be two girls at a time, as like you watch what you're about to get, like that power dominance that he's having over his victims, like so much terrified, he's terrifying the girls. Okay. So he brutalizes them. They get to their location. He takes the one girl out, bludgeons her to death, and then comes back, and the other girl's waiting. So he comes back, how torturous is that your friend is gone. He comes back, blood all over him, like your turn, you know what I mean? And he takes her out and bludgeons her to death. Their bodies are not found for 20 years later, these two.
Wait, so now where's the girlfriend in all this? Like, is she watching the second one?
She's driving the car.
Like, where? Okay.
He drives the van around, like he does everything he wants to do. So she's, and this is how he gets off. You know what I mean? Like she just drives around. She drove around in this instance for about 2 hours while he brutalized these girls.
Is this fueling? I hope and / don't think you'll have an answer to this, but is this like fueling their sex life on their own now? Like,
I mean, you would think she doesn't say, because she. Well, we'll get more into like all of that, but like she doesn't say, like he comes out later and says, like, dude, she was a full participant, which to me you would have to be to put up with that, because like the first bit she could have said, okay, I thought he was going to, as awful as it is, keep these girls as sex slaves. It was some kink. I did not think he was going to murder them. Get out. Get out. You can. The guy's got to go to work or something. Sometime you can run if you were really wanting to get away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's luring these girls in. Without her, this wouldn't have actually been able to happen on this level, because them girls wouldn't have felt safe enough to go with this dude. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she's a very willing participant in my eyes.
Okay.
So they end up murdering these two girls now. And, you can see it's spiking up to be a little bit more brutal. Okay. Like he's going from just shooting them in the back of the head to now he's bludgeoning them to death. So now we get to, the 1980. Okay. So we're going from 77, they meet. I mean, this isn't a 3-year span that him and her are hooking up to. He's brutalizing all these women in such a short period of time. So, and I love him. Like he's a great guy. You know what I mean? But so, okay.
Did anything say how they were having, like, how do they have money during this time? Are they robbing things, or did it say, like, did they just save up? Like, how do they have money to go on this whole, I don't know.
I mean, I did. Well, Charlene's family was well off, so that could have been possibly what was fueling them. He actually worked odd jobs. Like he worked at a bar, trucker. Like he's a felon. Like he's a felon. He's got multiple charges against him. So he doesn't have like some fancy job. And their van, they just have like this van. You know what I mean? So they're in their own area, and they're just going to like fairs. I mean, places like malls and fairs. I mean, it's very isolated. It's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like people they know. So a lot of times
to me, I'm like, how are they buying gas? How are they eating? Like, I'm like, oh, what are they like? Go ahead.
How are they affording eggs? Like, do you
forget the fact that they are killing people? How are they eating bread? I don't understand it. Like, all right, sorry.
It's fine. So then they end up, once again, they do another abduction. We're April 24th, 1980. They abduct Stacy and Karen, both 17. Same kind of MO, but this time it once again bludgeoned. He bludgeons these two. And then we go to, and I'm going to kind of go a little fast, but next, so we got April. So April goes to June. So he's going really fast in between these now. So April, June, they pick up a hitchhiker. Linda, Teresa, and I forget her last name's like Algler. Like I said, I'm stuck at pronouncing last names. So they pick up this hitchhiker who is pregnant. And he sexually assaults her and bludgeons her to death as well. So now we go to July 17th, 1980, and he abducts. She's just, a bartender. She's finishing her shift, staying outside. They abduct the bartender and they murder her. So she gets murdered. Her skeleton remains are found bound with fishing wire when they find her. And there was cord wrapped around her neck, so they were able to determine that strangulation was the cause of that death. So, okay, so they're just carrying on. And finally it comes to, we're going to November 1st, 1980. they go to what is like a Sadie Hawkins type of dance or a sorority type of dance that they were doing for a college.
Oh, now we
they run into
the Thanksgiving, the Valentine's Day stories. I'm like, now we get to the Thanksgiving story.
Well, you have Craig Miller and Mary Elizabeth Sawyer. So like you guys will see, you pronounce it. Okay. So we have them, okay? And
yeah,
I remember these two. Thank you. We'll see if I don't cover it. But so Mary Elizabeth, but they called her Mary Beth, and Craig Miller. So they're at a dance, they're walking out, and they get approached by them and basically abducted. Okay, they're sitting in a car waiting, and actually Craig's friend comes out and gets into the car, and he's like, hey guys, I'm driving you guys, because they're in the back, and he's kind of just messed around, and Craig says, get out of the car, dude, just get out of the car. And he's like, why, what's going on? He's like, just get out of the car. So Charlene comes up and she's screaming in the guy's face, get out of here, get out of here. Well, the guy's like, what's going on? He actually takes down the license plate number at this point. He's like, okay, this seems weird, what's going on with my friends? He is smart enough to take down the license plate number. Okay, so now they take poor Craig, and right away, they don't want Craig. You know what I mean? So they take him, they kick him out of the car, and they shoot him to death. Okay, and they just leave him on the side of the road. So they end up finding Craig dead, right? Pretty poor fast. Craig. But she's missing. Okay, so now we have her out here missing, and very pretty girl, and so sad. But so she's missing. He's keeping her, like this is his sex slave part. He's utilizing her for. He's not long, but he keeps her for a short period of time. And when he's done with her, he ends up taking her out to an area, and he has her lay down flat on her back and shoots her right in the head. And Charlene was talking about, he was at it all night with her. He wouldn't even let her come to bed. She had to stay out on the couch and yada, yada, yada. So yeah, a little strange. But so now the police have this car. They have a missing person. They have this guy saying that this car the car's registered to them. They can go right up to the house. So at this point, Charlene's pregnant. Okay, so Charlene's with baby, and she's kind of nervous about everything. And they're talking to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't know." Da 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 da. And the police officer's like, "Well, I need you to come down for a statement." Okay, we'll be there. Well, of course, they're not going to show up. You know what I mean? So they didn't show up, and then all of a sudden, now you're prime suspects. So wanted photo goes out of them, and now everybody's on the look for them. Okay, and you can see there are 10 years difference between these two. So, okay, they both get picked up. Okay, they're arrested and brought into custody. Okay, and they're charged with, the murder of Craig and Mary Beth. Okay, because they end up finding Mary Beth. They find Mary Beth, and it's very sad. So, but they're being charged with. So now she goes in there and she's basically standing by her man. She's not talking. Okay, she's really quiet, but they let her sit and stew it in a cell for a little bit. Well, now what happens? She's going to flip. You know what I mean? And she's like, okay, wait a second. Attorney comes. What if we let her tell you everything and you drop, you lower her sentence? So it's kind of like making a deal with the devil in a way. So she was like, they said, okay, you know what? We're going to make you this deal because we just want to know what is going on with everything else, So they make this deal with her, and, she is going to start talking. Okay. And she is going to talk a lot, to where she starts taking them to all the locations where all of these victims were at. Okay. God. So she starts finding these people for them. The only ones she couldn't find because were Brenda and Sandra, because she couldn't remember. So that was why they were found 20 years later. So now you have okay, this woman you love, and he's saying, well, what are you talking about? She knew everything that was going on. So now they have to go, and she's singing like a canary, and now they're in court together. Look how
pregnant she is.
And I just always think, at this moment, I associate it with this. I feel like that's how she's looking at it right now. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I just feel like that's that moment where it's like, yeah, hi. You know what I mean? Just look at the, like, there's nothing between these two. Like, oh boy, she's just like selling him down the river. So he ends up getting death sentences. Okay. He's sentenced to death.
Oh, of course.
And then, you know, she gets a light ass sentence. Like, she gets 17 years and ends up only doing like 15. And she's released. She's alive right now, everybody. She is out there. She's been free for about 35 years now. Changed her name, living her best life. I actually watched her do an interview where she was like, basically like, you know, I was so scared to leave. And, you know, she made sorry, everybody. I just feel like bullshit. You know what I mean? And she made a
baby. She had the baby.
She did have the baby. So she has the baby, her and the baby. She had the baby while she was in jail. And then now, you know, the baby is, you know, everybody's changed their name. So when you try to find them, of course, you're not going to. But she released a statement and she said, there were victims who died and there were victims who lived. It's taken me a hell of a long time to realize that I'm one of the ones who lived. Like, shut up. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. And then he gets a life. So he gets a life. I mean, to me, she got away with murder. You know what I mean? She should be sitting with him. But he ends up getting his life sentence. He dies at 56 of cancer, though. So he doesn't even make it to any kind of death sentence. But it's ironic that his father got a death sentence. He gets a death sentence. You know what I mean? And that's how that story kind of ends. And, you know, there's multiple books that have been wrote on this. Like, these are just a few, you know, all his father sent. Like, this is really like interesting because they're going to go on the backstory of his dad. And do you think that makes someone tick? And here's some other books. But yeah, like I was saying, like the sex slave part, like, I don't really think that was it. It was more like just abuse and murder. You know what I mean? But
yeah, basically it was kidnapping, rape, and murder. That's pretty much what it was.
Correct. So, and Rusty, if you got a little tidbit that I didn't cover, toss it in there. Type away.
Toss it in.
Toss it in. But yeah, I just feel like, you know, the story is, you know, it's one of those things where you see a lot of these stories, because I was picking out stories for this case and I want to do like the killer couple thing. And every time the girl flips on the dude, and let's see, there's also the storyline. Criminal Minds. It was
Criminal Minds.
Okay.
But you know,
I've never seen that show.
Like, you know what I want to throw in there is like,
love that show.
I don't pretend to be a normal person by any means. I like, all jokes aside, I think many times a day, like, I may have sociopathic tendencies. Like, we think that, right? But the minute you started this story and you said, okay, they're having sex life problems, this and that, and his suggestion was, and this is where I'm putting her on the block and going, she's totally at fault. If I don't care how much in love with somebody I am or whatever, if someone's suggestion to me is let's kidnap sex slaves, forget the rape and the murder. If someone says to me, let's kidnap sex slaves, I'm immediately going to go, hold on. Like,
is this a movie you watched last week?
Like, you know, like, what? Hold on.
That and they were children.
What? Yeah,
it's not, and they have to be underage, Charlene. Like, what the fuck, idiot?
Like, it takes something on her part to go, okay, like, great.
Yeah,
you know,
like her moral compass was like, obviously off too.
To that.
Well, she with her previous husbands, she would do a lot of like threesomes and weird sexual things with them. So that's why she pitched the threesomes. You know what I mean? And then like he said, like, okay, I did it, but this sucks. And she's thinking, well, I guess that didn't work with my other husbands. Sure, let's try sex slaves. I mean, the fact that your husband now is telling you, like, look, girl, you just don't do it for me. I need younger other girls.
Yeah,
Run.
That's right where I would be like, no, sorry.
Dude, there's so many red flags that it's like there's not even like a warehouse to hold that many red flags. Like, how many do you need? So, but that's them, and she's still living. She's 66 years old, Charlene, and I feel like she just got away with murder. I don't buy her being a victim one freaking bit.
No.
You know what I mean? I think that's all bullshit. But I mean, that's how I feel. People could tell me in the comments, what do you think? Do you think she was a victim?
I think that now, I think for the next week, every episode of my road rage when I'm yelling at somebody is going to be Charlene instead of Karen. I'll be like, you know what, Charlene? What the
Charlene? You're so guilty. No one believes you, Charlene.
Oh, you're too good for a turn signal, Charlene.
Charlene.
I'm gonna do that for now. Whenever I get mad at someone, I'm gonna say that. Like, yeah, Charlene.
You have to.
Everyone else has to do that too.
Everybody.
Yeah, I wish we could find her name and just like correct. Like,
you'll win a free prize if you send in videos of you yelling at Charlene on the road.
Yes, if anybody does that, if you take a video and send us to us yelling at Charlene on the road, at work, anytime you're angry, you will win a prize.
Yeah, yes. Send it to me.
Prize.
I love
that. That is going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's something else, and I feel bad for her kids, and I feel bad for his daughter who, you know, he was sexually molesting her for a good period of her life. You know what I mean? So that's like messed up, Nash.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, and you see that, like I said, like, and everybody out there that thinks like you're in love, just know you do a crime, someone's going to fold on the other person. So don't think that love is going to save it all, because it's Valentine's Day, but just know that's just one day. When it's over, it's over. So
it's over.
Cheers to Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the docket. Who's next?
All right. I'll go ahead. You want to? Kirsten?
You guys rock, paper,
We're running
scissors?
out of time. We got.
Well, you know
minutes.
what? I was gonna say, if you want, I'll go next because mine's rather quick, so I can actually blow through it.
Oh, I took a lot of time. My story was long.
No, it's okay. Like I said, listen. These two are always making fun of me how I write like 45 pages, so I kept it very quick and simple tonight. But yeah,
look how detailed I was.
What?
I said, look how detailed I was. You guys.
Yeah, you were awesome. It was amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, mine's a quick little story, and then you can finish it off if you're good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have named my little short story Mr. Results, and you'll know why in a moment. So my Valentine's Day story is about love gone bad by a hitman. Okay. So.
Ooh. The thing that I love about the story, I don't know why I love it, don't dig too deep into it, is that this just happened. Like, it's not that long ago. Because a lot of the stories we tell, I feel like people were a lot more creative criminally in like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Like, that's just my opinion. Okay. So this was Valentine's Day 2010. Okay. So not that long ago. Chew on that one for a minute. So we are in Snellville, Georgia. And we have a lovely, beautiful married couple named Richard and Stacy Sheck. So I'm just going to, like you, Heather, I'm just going to say Richard and Stacy and not keep repeating the last name. But Richard and Stacy Sheck. And this Valentine's Day is actually the couple's 3rd wedding anniversary. And I want to top your story by saying that this was Stacy's 5th marriage. Okay. Oh,
yep.
Stacy's got
number 5. Okay. So, yep, getting them off the internet. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, to everybody's opinion, this is a great marriage. They're happy. Things are going well. Richard is really excited to celebrate Valentine's Day with Stacy. So they have a plan to meet in a park to exchange gifts and cards and chocolates and whatnot. So Stacy is working in a medical facility at this point and tells her husband that she's going to meet him there at this park, and basically says that the nurse that is supposed to relieve her at work is late. So she's going to meet him directly at the park versus, you know, meeting him at home first or meeting him somewhere. So she's going to meet him right at the park to exchange gifts for Valentine's Day. So Stacy never shows up. Instead, what happens is Richard is met at the park by a guy named Reginald Coleman. So I have pictures of Stacy and Richard. I also have a picture of Reginald just for your reference.
Okay, let me go to. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, why don't you put up Stacy and Richard first if you have it handy. Yep. So there they are. Richard and Stacy, 3rd wedding anniversary. Happy as
his beard matches his hair, her hair.
Yes. Happy as 2 little duckies in a pond, or we thought. Okay. So instead of meeting Stacy, so Richard is met by a man named Reginald Coleman, who is a personal trainer and part-time hitman who goes by the name Mr. Results. I love, by the way, that he's a part-time hitman that has a nickname.
Well, who could do that full-time? I mean, it's exhausting.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I wonder how many is like considered to be part-time.
I was gonna say that, like, dude, does he lose benefits? Like,
is it like only 3 hits a week is part-time, or
I don't know.
Is it unionized? Like, what's happening?
He gets no sick days, guys. Obviously,
no paid holidays.
So Coleman unfortunately guns Richard down, killing him. Stacy arrives at the park, surprised to find her husband dead, gunned down, bleeding. So basically, at this point, she waits for her $500,000 life insurance policy, which she does not get, because eventually she's found out. So here's the backstory for you. Stacy's working as an office administrator at Georgia Spine and Neurosurgery Center, and Richard is her 5th husband. Like I said, happy, loving marriage. Everybody seems to think that they get along perfectly. So Richard even has legally adopted Stacy's 3 children. So everything's going great. Yay. Hi, Melise. Okay. So I've already told you about the murder. So this is where things start to get a little fishy. So as she's planning this, there's an IT technician working at Stacy's job who mentions to police that she noticed that Stacy's inbox at work had been emptied clean in the weeks leading up to and the day of the murder. It had been emptied out totally, which this is a business. So if anything, not that she thought, okay, this is a killer, but she thought this is really, really suspect.
Yeah, I don't clear out my work emails.
So police basically obtain the backups for this for the email and realize that Stacy has transferred a lot of money to a medical assistant coworker named Lentrina Ross. So I have a picture also of Lenitra. I'm sorry, I think I was saying that wrong. Lenitra Ross. So she wants my necklace. Do you see it? The little, it's like a skeleton is choking me. It's part of my love beyond death, Valentine's Day, morbid death, gothic death, love, whole thing, you know? All right.
That was said with so much freaking passion. I love it.
I know. That's like that's the most energy I've had all night. So, all right. So anyway, so they find out that she's transferred a lot of money to this coworker that she has. All right. So then they find phone records that tie Stacy to this coworker and her boyfriend. And the boyfriend is the one and the only hitman, Reginald. So then they find
Mr. Results, part-time.
Yeah, Mr. Results. So then they find Stacy's car at Lenitra's house. So basically the 3 are arrested at this point because they find everything in the world that ties these 3 people together and a lot of money being transferred. So so they arrest all 3 of them at this point. So at this point, like you like to say, Heather, Stacy starts singing like a canary. Okay. She's the first one to start talking. So there she is smiling, you know, in her mugshot. I love that. That's why
that's a big smile.
Because I'm like, this is amazing. So here's where the whole story comes out. So Stacy tells the cops that she believes, she's under the impression that her husband has been sexually molesting her sons. Okay. And she had also told this story to Lenitra. So she said to the cops, I told Lenitra, I don't want the police. I don't want a divorce. If this man is sexually assaulting my sons, I want him dead. That's it. She said right out to her friend, I want him dead. Nothing else.
Do it yourself.
So then this is at this point when Lenitra basically offers to her friend Stacy, my boyfriend will kill Richard. He'll kill him.
He's part-time though. You got to catch him on a Wednesday.
Okay. Yes. You know, he delivers flowers every other Saturday. So you got to get him.
Saturdays are out. Sundays he's at church. You got to do Wednesdays.
So they arrange the meeting and Stacy basically agrees at this point to pay Reginald for the murder. She also, it's important to say, she wanted this murder to look like a robbery. So she actually ended up getting really angry when Reginald failed to take Richard's things from the park. Like she wanted it, messed up. She wanted things stolen. And he didn't do this. He pretty much gunned him down and left. And she's mad about this because she says, I want it to look like a robbery. She also only wanted him shot once in the head because she said, I don't want my husband to suffer. So only once in the head, please. That's my Valentine's Day gift.
So she's sweet. She's sweet.
She's awesome, isn't she? She's amazing. I want her as a babysitter one day,
Right.
Much love for her. Love.
So, in the end, basically all three of them were convicted. It turns out later on, this is awesome, Stacy's son, who had been kind of feeding her stories about getting abused, tells Stacy, I'm really sorry for exaggerating things and blowing them out of proportion. He never sexually abused me or anything like that.
Oh, shut the front door.
So that's the second wah-wah for the night. So she pleads guilty to malicious murder.
Her son did come and tell her, like,
right.
Hey, I've been sexual.
Yeah, he kind of implied it. Like, from what I read, he didn't say, like, this is happening, but he kind of was, feeding her some stories. So she pleads guilty in December of 2012 to malicious murder and is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She basically made a deal with police. They took the death penalty off the table if she would talk, which she did. And for her testimony against her friend Lenitra, she had to do that in order to not get the death penalty. So she remains incarcerated at Pulaski State Prison in Hawkinsville, Georgia. And
did the kid talk about this at the trial? Did he admit that he didn't? Was that at the trial?
So from what I read, he talked about it at the trial and admitted it to his mom. So just basically not copping to too much, but just saying I might have exaggerated, embellished a little bit. So during questioning, Stacy does admit to having an affair with a man named Juan Reyes. And the affair at this point apparently had been going on for many years, but he's cleared almost immediately. Like there's no involvement at all. They don't think this had anything to do with the affair. But he's ruled out as a suspect and she's still in prison. So that's my whole entire story. I ripped through that pretty quick. But
it's crazy because if you think, I mean, I guess I'd go to the cops, but like in a rage, if you think someone's touching your kid, who knows how you would react? You know what I mean? But I don't know.
Well, I like to think I'd be like, look, I understand, I'm not a mother, but I understand how that must be, how you would want to react. But I still would like to think that I would not turn first choice to I'm going to have somebody kill him. I
would probably do it myself. Truthfully, I'm a crazy person, so I feel like I don't know. You know what I mean?
After my scary situation yesterday, I thought I would handle things a lot different. And being put in that just for even 5 minutes of that thought, I was not myself. I can look back and be like, holy shit, I did not handle that how I thought I would. Now I do know that if something like that does happen, I'm going to need you guys to come stop me because I will be an episode on.
Yeah, that's a snapped episode for sure. Because I would even
I'm not even saying that like
plan a hitman.
I'm not even saying I don't understand her thought process. I think what I'm saying, because you have to understand everything I do, I kind of go in my mafia mindset. I think I would want the proof. I would want proof. Like I literally would take the time, just like every good mafia man, to say, I want to see the wire. I want to find the wire. I want the proof. But when
if your kid comes to you and your kid's like, talking to you, you're gonna want, you go into mother mode and you're gonna do anything you can to protect your child. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think I would ever be like, well, I don't believe you, or where's the proof? Like, I don't need in that aspect proof. You know what I mean?
I think
I would. And I only say that because
but how would you even get proof on something like that? You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I know what a little shit liar I was as a kid. And I know the kids, I try to be fair. Like, I don't know.
I guess your kid.
Well, you know what? I don't know what age this started at, but I also know it's true scientifically when people say like their minds aren't developed the right way. That's why they tell lies or embellish on things. And that's why so I would just like to think before I had somebody murdered, I would at least try to, I don't know.
Murder.
No. All right, fine. You know what? I'm done. I'm done.
Right to murder. Murder.
Goodness. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
I'm glad that you're very rational, though. Are you thinking a rational way where I'm like, murder?
So we have to call her.
Listen,
come into that situation.
You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? Thank you, Rusty. Thank you, Rusty.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's ways, you know, I mean, I want to say maybe I would set some cameras up. I would never let it get to the point where he would even step foot in that room, but I would try at least to be like, before I murder somebody, to get some kind of proof. But I'm not a mom, so I bow down to the mothers.
Like I said, you know your kid. You know what I mean? Like if your kid's a kid that lies all the time.
She didn't know her kid, apparently.
I mean, apparently, you know what I mean? And that's the messed up thing about it, because like I kind of feel for her in a way, even though like that's bad shit.
I do too. Yeah,
but it's like I'm thinking in her mind, she probably thought what she was doing was the right thing to do, and then it's like when you have this little son of a bitch say I lied, you're gonna be like
looking at the big picture and being like, okay, I needed to take a couple days and figure it out.
At least that, right? At least that. Yes. Okay.
Or you go to the police and let the police figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because the final note I'll leave you on is child molesters and rapists get killed way worse in prison, way worse. And that is the lovely note that I will leave you on. So, your turn.
I might go over a little bit.
Well, this is a special. It's a Valentine's Day special.
Yeah.
Specials are usually
okay.
longer.
Go ahead.
Problem solved. Okay, so we are going to the case of Dr. John Baxter Hamilton and Susan Hamilton. This is that.
Okay.
So let's take a trip back to February 14th, 2001. What would have been 15 years for Mr. and Mrs. Hamilton. What I call Love Day instead of Valentine's Day wasn't that so much.
Melise, do you know someone who was murdered, or have you murdered somebody? Say it now.
Then come on down to Chilling and Killing and let's
say it now.
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
According to family, friends, and such, and co-workers, they were in love, as all these stories always start out. But as we all know, behind closed doors, things are different. I already showed you the picture of them. So Mr. Hamilton was Susan's second husband. Her first husband was always concerned for her safety because she ran John's abortion clinic. She was like the head, whatever they are for that. He was also a gynecologist, so he ran two different things. So as we know, with all the controversy, that is a dangerous place to work. So her ex-husband is caught on interviews saying how he was always worried about her because of that. So I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit because I just found this fascinating. So let's listen to the 911 call.
Ooh, Gigi.
When
big guns.
to when when he called. It was between, he had surgery. Well, because he also did surgery being a gynecologist. So between two surgeries, he went home.
So this is the doctor is called. This is the 911 call. Okay, go ahead.
911. Please, send an ambulance, please. What's the problem? My wife, I think my wife is dead. Sir? Please, I've been trying CPR. Please send somebody, quick.
Is she not breathing?
No, she's not breathing. I don't get pulse, please.
Okay.
Hurry.
You're doing CPR on her?
Yes, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm going to hang up so I can continue, please.
We'll be right there.
Okay.
He's a doctor. He can't administrate CPR. I mean, you got to call 911, but like, go ahead.
And what 911 operator lets you off the phone before somebody gets there?
Well, I guess if they're just going to hang up anyways. Yeah, usually they're like, stay on the line.
Yeah, usually they're like, stay on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you set it down, right? So, but like, listen to how fast he's talking.
Yeah.
Like, if you came home and your wife was brutally murdered, how they say, like, she was, and we'll get into that because the more I got delving in, I was like, oh my God. So,
yeah, I heard liar, liar, pants on fire too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So like, I know if I came home and I saw my husband like that, like, you wouldn't be able to understand any of my words, first of all. Like,
right.
Yeah.
It sounded
They're going to tell you to
pre-rehearsed,
do
right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God,
sure.
oh my God. So,
My
okay.
was thinking that. Yeah.
So let's go back to about 7 a.m. that morning. He had surgery scheduled at 7 a.m. He was also a gynecologist, which hence the surgery type thing.
Okay.
He went to do surgery, left for home in between. He took her flowers, by the way.
I love how she giggles. We're just so we love her like I'll do the same.
That's why we're on here together.
So he took her flowers after
he went home in between.
So he did this surgery, went home, brought her flowers. You know, it's Valentine's Day, brought her flowers.
Okay.
So after the fact that I wrote my notes, I did further research. So apparently he like called and pushed back a surgery.
Okay.
So he obviously had this planned, whatever, pushed back a surgery, but had the hospital page him at 8:30. You need to be back.
So he's setting up all of his shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So he got a page to go back to the hospital to do another surgery. He was scheduled to do at 9:30. This page came in before that. So he did bring flowers home for her for Valentine's Day. Like I just said, there was also an exchange of Valentine's Day cards. This is fun. So the one Susan
Love
gave
from
John,
Alabama.
Hi, Trey.
The one that was found in his suit jacket is right here. Okay. So I'm gonna try. It says, "I brought this card 2 weeks ago, so I guess maybe that doesn't seem appropriate now, but I do love you and have a good day." So also there was more written on this card because, hold on, I got to get like my sketch notes here. So she put on it, I bought this before last Monday. So she came across some fun things.
Sorry, I was reading the card.
Oh, sorry. It was messy. Anyway. So apparently there was a patient of his that turned into a lover. He claimed no, obviously. So phone calls and stalky things got him busted a week before the murder.
Stalky things.
Yes.
Stalky things will get you caught up.
Like calls of like 60 times a day. She pulled his phone records. So I don't call my gynecologist 60 times a day. No.
No.
So, clearly there's a motive.
Okay.
So after
something fishy's going on.
Yeah. So after receiving the 911 call, cops arrived to find Susan dead. She was strangled by 2 neckties and blunt force trauma to the head. And there was no sexual assault. So they were originally thinking maybe a robbery with the sexual assault and, things just went bad. But listen to the freaking 911 call. Come on. But when they started to question John, he got all sorts of odd. You can actually look up the interrogation. I didn't grab the clips of that, but he gets all weird when they leave him in the room. Starts I
love when they leave people in the
everything.
Room. And you just watch them act like just animals in a
I was just gonna say an animal. Stirring. He literally looked like an animal.
Yeah.
So they started putting 2 and 2 together and looked at all the evidence presented. Investigators questioned the blood marks.
Mm-hmm.
The marks left at the scene and the blood marks on his shirt.
Melissa.
So, I do have. Here is.
Oh.
Hey, you're welcome.
Okay.
So
wait a minute. Hold on. You said, wait, Gigi, you said she was strangled with 2 neckties?
Yes, and blunt force trauma to the head.
Oh, and blood.
Okay.
They never found the murder weapon because they said the blunt force trauma is what actually killed her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. That's a lot of blood.
So they start questioning because he goes back into surgery and stuff and's got here we go, the bloodstained shirt.
Cheese and rice.
What?
like bro.
Yeah,
get some
I know, right?
Clean up in that.
So the defense tried
nothing
saying,
to see here, folks.
Why wouldn't anybody question that at the freaking hospital? And then he had blood up in here in his the sleeve. So they said
if he was about to operate on me, I would have a lot of questions. I'd be like, I don't.
Yeah, I'm so confused. Like,
Yeah, he had a matter of not.
So he just walked back into his next surgery like that.
Yeah. Well, no, because he was scheduled for surgery. So if he called 911, they're going to come get, do their business. So defense tried saying the police ignored other evidence and jumped to the conclusion he was guilty and was arrested 5 hours after it all went down. Prosecutors said Hamilton changed clothes after killing his wife in the master bathroom. They claimed the defendant took the house, his bloody clothes, and the blunt instrument used to beat the victim after she was strangled with a man's necktie and her face repeatedly smashed into the tile floor. That was her face that made all that blood.
Wait, I don't know if this says anything bad about me, but do you know I was going to say that? Like, all jokes aside, when you said they never found the weapon, I was going to say, I wonder if he wrapped the neckties around the head and then used it as used
I didn't
it
think
to
about that. Yeah,
the head. I was literally
give him
picturing it in my
leverage.
head, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So 2 months before her death, they fought over the defendant giving his son money without Susan knowing about it. Susan Hamilton suspected her husband was having an affair with a patient and stripper whose telephone number turned up 60 times on the what I just said. So I'm not going to say her name because I can't pronounce it because I don't speak Spanish.
I don't speak. I don't either.
It took me 7 days to figure out how to say my name there. A topless dancer for 8 years testified and performed table dances for this doctor. So she got that, I guess. The primary prosecutorial evidence was a blood stain on John's shirt. So we'll go back to that for a second. So believed to be the shape of the injury over Susan's eye. So her head would have had to come back up into his chest. The prosecution believed this
almost
injury
looks like a heart with an arrow on the one side.
Hey, happy Valentine's Day.
That's what I was thinking.
The prosecution believed this injury was also the shape of the instrument used to cause the blunt force trauma. The defense called blood splatter expert Tom Bevel to refute this theory. He performed an independent analysis of the shirt and confirmed the blood imprint on the shirt could have been the result of the doctor's account of trying to save his wife. So there you get the other end of it where I'm giving her CPR, she's dying, blah, 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 blah. After seeing this, how can anybody just say, I just can't get over the 911 call. I think is my thing, how he just reacted to that.
I have a question.
So he was arrested not 5 hours after the 911 call?
Yes. When they started piecing, because they have to investigate his account because he is the one that called
911. 5 hours was pretty freaking fast.
Yeah. And that's what they're saying.
This happened really fast, but did you happen to read anywhere where they all have a story? So what's his story of what happened when between the time he went home, gave his wife flowers in a car, whatever, went back to work? Did he ever say what happened? Somebody must have broken in, or what?
Yeah. That's what they wanted. What do I say? That's what he was said on the 911 call. He walked in and he saw his wife like this, blah, blah, blah. I just got home from work. I had flowers in my hand for her and blah, blah, blah. No, you son of a bitch. She gave you the Valentine card that you have in your freaking pocket. Come on. It's so sad.
Well, and they obviously didn't believe him. In only 5 hours, he's arrested. So obviously it wasn't good planning everything that he was doing.
No, I was going to say, this is horrible. This is
so what was his reasoning? Why did he want her dead?
Yeah.
I never did figure that part out. I'm assuming she probably wanted divorce after finding this stuff out.
Right. So he didn't want to lose all his gynecology money.
Because the gal that he was supposedly had the affair with, she said he cut everything off with her because he did not want to lose his wife.
He didn't want to lose his
money. She got
money.
up on stand. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't understand that. I never understand when people say this. Like, it's like with my story. I don't even think I threw this in there. My woman literally told the police and her friend, oh, I'm really, really worried if we go the route of divorce, I could lose custody of my children. Guess what, you dumb hoe? If you kill somebody and you go to prison, you're not going to have custody of your children or ever see them again. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So he goes, oh, I don't want to lose my wife. So he kills her. I don't understand when people do that. Like, you know what? I worked hard for this business. I don't want to lose it. So I'm going to murder somebody. Well, guess what? You're not going to operate your lawn mowing business while you're in prison. Like, I don't understand it. It just pisses me off.
I think people get too much into watching TV that they feel like they can get away with something, and it's like, okay, watch the right TV show, like Forensic Files.
A lot of this
you can't get away with shit.
It's emotional driven. Sometimes we don't think right. Coming back to the parent thing, you literally get out of your freaking mind. You have no idea.
That
like,
was emotional. You're right. It's emotional. Your guy is just selfishness. You know what I mean? He's premeditating that. He sat down with potatoes with her eating dinner, thinking I'm gonna kill her. I'm gonna kill her.
And I'm gonna make it look like a.
And what's kind of funny is the fact that he's so shitty at it that he's like literally that just takes him like enough time to tape down the place and they're arresting him. Like that's how quick that shit is. Like they get the call, they come out there, they lay the tape and they're taking him in. Like you're so
he
shitty.
Had some of the evidence, like her blood and stuff was found in his car. So
on his freaking shirt.
On his shirt. I was just gonna say, could we come up for this show? Can we come up with a like dumbass but gangsta award? He wins the dumbass but yet technically so gangster award for wearing a bloody shirt that he just killed his wife right to work and being like, oh, I'm just gonna go operate on a vajay now and then be like, here's my shirt. Like who?
I think he's more just like a dumbass. Like we need sounds. I'm gonna get him my sound. I gotta find my sound.
I know we do.
Because like we need like the thinking, because I don't know. I think he's dumb and oblivious. Like how?
Yes. Well, see,
but some doctors think they're God. They think they're untouchable. You know what I mean?
Yes, they have the God complex. Now, his defense attorneys had a heyday with this. Because it was only 5 hours. They're like, they just jumped the gun. They just da-da-da-da-da. Are you kidding me?
What case is this that we're talking about?
Name the doctor, DG.
What's the name of that?
You just had to ask me after finishing my drink, huh?
Oh, sorry.
Dr. John Baxter Hamilton and Susan Hamilton, and it's Oklahoma. So
gynecologist that murdered his wife and then wore the murder shirt back to do more surgeries in his gynecologist office.
I love that.
And we all think something was fishy from the beginning.
Yeah,
so
gynecologist.
On the cross-examination, wait. Okay, so we left off at the Tom Bevel, and he was supposed to refute the allegation, and he said, well, it could have been from her him saving her.
Saving, right?
And, yeah. So on cross-examination, Bevel was asked to the prosecution miss anything pertinent to which Bevel replied yes. The courtroom was silent. Bevel went on to describe blood splatter inside the sleeve of Hamilton's shirt was consistent with the defendant using an instrument to beat his wife. So jury convicted him of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole and currently remains incarcerated at the Dick Connor Correctional Center in Tammany, Oklahoma.
Long-winded.
Yeah.
So everybody, is love fun? Did we learn anything tonight? That
love? Like, does it
love? Is everybody excited for Valentine's Day? Like,
I learned not to accept a Valentine's Day card.
Yeah,
look at
really.
your mate tonight and think, is it love or is it murder? Oh my gosh!
We could put out like the public service announcement we could put out is, people, if you are cheating on your loved one, you're probably going to get murdered. If you find out they're cheating on you, you're probably going to murder them. If anything, it's just, let's put out a public service announcement. Don't choose the route of murder, people.
We should totally do that, actually. Like during the
Did
week,
you guys see that
just
thing
like
I posted
30
earlier
seconds.
this week? That news story about the lady who ended up getting like 30. She got in trouble because she embezzled. Well, she ended up stealing like $30,000 worth of like gift cards and shit to give to her online boyfriend. Did you see that? That was in, of course, Michigan. But yeah, she ended up stealing $30,000 to give to her over a period of time to give to her online boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't love grand, everybody? I mean,
love is wonderful.
What says I love you more than somebody saying, you got some money for me? Like, I just don't even like understand that. Like
the wrong love can make you completely stupid.
Oh, 100%. But like there has to be a time frame where you're just like, come on, man.
I love it. I feel like, wait, can I just say, I wish.
Yes, I love that.
To end the show, I wish we had the clip of Adam Sandler from The Wedding Singer singing "Love Stinks." You know, like
I love
all drunk on stage. Like,
dang it, you should have told me.
I wish we could end our special.
I love that.
So everybody, YouTube, please, Adam Sandler singing "Love Stinks."
And yeah, this was a fun show. What's our next show? Oh, Gigi, knock out what our next show is.
I don't think we have do we have a topic?
We do. We do. And Kirsten, me and you, everybody, we need a theme. We need a theme. Like,
yes,
you know, we like to dress up.
So we always pick a theme at the end of every show for the next show. So what's our next topic?
It's Dennis Nilsen.
So that is the Dennis Nilsen.
He is the UK's version of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ooh.
So how can we theme this? I mean, anybody have it?
I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be that theme. You guys can just pick something you want us to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I wear my Dahmer glasses again? Guys, I have my Dahmer glasses right here. Can I wear them again? Wait, they're crooked. Wait, there you go.
What should we dress as? What should we theme? How do we do this one?
Dahmer glasses. See. Okay. Let's see.
Oh,
she put on hers too. Oh my God, Dahmer. All right, let's think.
Oh my God.
Do we dress like British people? What does that even look like?
British.
Maybe we could do like a British theme.
I don't know what that means. We dress in like a Beatles shirt?
He said the Brit that ate too much. Wait, what's a really British meal? Like a really British.
What, are we gonna eat dinner? Like,
let's all cook a recipe. Let's all, you know,
we're gonna make cook and eat. Like, no,
we're gonna make bringing.
Like, I was going to get KFC because it goes into the story.
What is it?
KFC.
Can we all dress like Austin Powers?
That's what I was thinking. Austin Powers. Huh?
Oh, Austin Powers. Let's do some
Powers.
Austin Powers. So what's that like?
We have to get leisure suits?
Plaid. Oh, plaid. So she said plaid. Austin. Plaid. Yeah, let's do
mutton.
Austin
I'm not
Powers.
eating mutton. I'm not eating. I'm sorry.
Can I have a tea and crumpets? Fish and chips. Okay. So we're going to go and do a whole British thing. See, this is what I love.
It's going to be apparently like a cooking episode from Hell's Kitchen. Like we're going to have fish and chips and be talking about a cannibal. You guys don't want to watch
this is shit. This is shit.
This is shit.
This is a disgrace. I'm going to yell at myself because like we're too far away from each other to be yelling at you guys. All right. Oh, maybe we should do a giveaway. I'm feeling like doing a giveaway.
I'm feeling like we should too. And wait, can we just announce the date really quick? So, guys, that's in 2 weeks from today on the 23rd.
Isn't it the 23rd?
Yeah, it's February 23rd. We're going to do Dennis Nilsen, which is, you said, the UK version of Jeffrey Dahmer. Which we've already... Wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute. I just want to ask this really quick. Have we actually done a Dahmer, or did we just touch on the series? Did we do a Dahmer episode?
No, I think we just touched on the series.
We touched on. Okay, well that'll be down the road. But anyway, we'll do this version in 2 weeks. Okay, so sounds good.
And we're gonna get a little British for everybody. Does that sound British? Is that British accent?
I don't know. You just sound constipated. No. Oh,
I'm just trying to be supportive.
We're so excited.
We were so excited.
Yeah, lots of new viewers tonight. This is awesome.
Thank you so much, Rhonda. We do appreciate that.
Everybody in the comments.
Come back in 2 weeks.
Tunes in. Come back. We're going to be British in 2 weeks. We will follow our page, share our page, everybody. Get it out there so we can start building up our actual Facebook page because we have our Chillin' and Killin' Crimecast group, which we were not having success when it came to running the podcast through that group. So we have now made an official Facebook page, but we need everybody to share that, get it out there so we can start building up that page a little bit more. So if you guys can share, send invites to people that you think would like this show, please do. We appreciate you very much. And we're going to do a giveaway on next week or 2 weeks
from today giveaway. And so just so you know, the way we usually do the giveaways is we ask something from the show. If you've listened to the whole episode, we usually ask at the end a very key question of something that we announced or said during the show, and whoever answers first wins. So
we want to make sure you're watching.
Yeah. Wait, oh my God, now she sounds like a leprechaun.
That's a couple weeks from now, show.
Oh, damn it. Okay, that's great.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you for tuning in, and make sure you watch your partner next to you, because you never know. Yeah. Love is crazy, open. Everybody.
You never know.
We don't want to get you caught up in some love bullshit. So everybody
have
a happy
Valentine's Day, not this. Yeah. Either way, those are bad.
Here's your Valentine's Day card, honey.
All right, everybody. Good night. Happy Valentine's Day. And this was a great show. Yeah, we're out of here, you guys. Stay chilling and going. Bye.